Hello and welcome to another vlog. My name is Nicole, and if you are new here, I am working on my very first romance novel, which I'm calling Project 2A, and I'm currently working on my printed manuscript to edit the second draft of my novel, and that's what I'm doing for Camp NaNoWriMo. If you are new to the idea of NaNoWriMo or Camp NaNoWriMo, basically Camp NaNoWriMo is a challenge where you can set any kind of writing goal for yourself, whether that's to write a certain amount of words or to edit a certain amount of words, or whatever word count based goal you want to do. So what I'm doing for this challenge this month in July is I am choosing to edit 25,000 words, but I am just assigning 1,000 words per every chapter I edit. So that means I am aiming to edit 25 chapters in this challenge. I think the last time I touched my manuscript was when I was editing it in my hotel room, and then I just kind of stopped for the rest of the vacation I was on. But now that I am back home, I want to pick it up again and start again. Today is July 19th, another Wednesday, and I am currently sitting at 11 chapters edited, which means I still have quite a few to go before the end of the month. I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna reach my goal, but I'm still gonna try. I am going away again at the end of the month, so I'm thinking Camp NaNoWriMo is gonna have to end a little bit early for me because there's no way I'm going to be able to edit when I'm trying to catch a flight, and then I'll be very busy on my trip. But if you are interested in learning more about that, I am sure I will be posting another vlog in the future about my vacation adventures. Anyways, I just wanted to kickstart this vlog off with a little introduction and to just get started on the editing sessions. Since I've come back from my trip, I have realized I really need to just set aside some time, whether it's a little bit of time in the morning before work or it's a little bit of time in the evening after work, to just get some editing in. If I don't make the time for it, it won't happen. It just doesn't happen. That's just the way I work. So I am going to use this vlog to hold myself accountable to continue with Camp NaNoWriMo here. But anyways, it is after work for me now. I am going out to dinner with my family, and then hopefully when I get back this evening, I can crack open my manuscript again and get started on that. My manuscript is currently living in this green binder. It is pretty thick, and you can see that I've already edited this much and I still have this much to go. But anyways, I'm off to dinner now, and I will check in with you later. Hello and good morning. It is a very rainy, gloomy looking Monday morning today on July 24th. So it's been a little while since I last talked to you, since I last checked in with you. I feel like I have said this a lot during this Camp NaNoWriMo, but there hasn't been too much editing. The last time I spoke with you, after I talked to you, I think I maybe got in like half a chapter's worth of editing, and then I just didn't touch my manuscript at all. I took a bit of a break from it, just coming back from my trip and settling into daily life again. Things just get busy, and I wasn't prioritizing working on my manuscript. As I said, today is July 24th, so there are only a few more days left in Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm actually flying out on the 28th, but that means that Camp NaNoWriMo is going to have to end a little bit early for me. So I will be ending it, I think, on the 28th or just before the 28th. So I will have to end Camp NaNoWriMo a little bit early because this time I actually definitely will not be taking the binder with me. I'm going to be quite busy while I'm away, so I don't think I'm going to really have time to do any editing on my novel, and also because I'm taking a flight, it's just extra weight that I don't want to carry. So I've got my binder here with me now. When I last left you off, I think I was like partway through editing chapter 11, and then last night I went through and did some more edits. I was able to get about... Okay, big disclaimer here. I was able to edit about 4 chapters, but I discovered a lot of these chapters that I had written were actually like I used a chapter heading and then maybe I only wrote a paragraph or part of a scene of that chapter and then kind of just ideas for the chapter, which is why I was probably able to get about 4 chapters done last night. And if I count those partial ones, then it totals up to like 7. But I don't want to count those. I only want to count out the mostly fleshed out chapters or the like completed chapters. So I'm just going to say 4. I'm going to say that I edited 4 last night, which is really awesome, and that brings me up to 15 chapters that I've edited so far, which means that I still have 10 left. I think tonight I'm definitely going to try to edit more chapters. I think it's doable. I have today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so that gives me 4 whole days to get in some editing, and if I average about 2 to 3 chapters, then I'll meet my Camp NaNoWriMo goal. But honestly, I won't be too upset if I don't end up meeting the goal. I know this month has been way busier than I expected it to be. I find that just summer, things get busy. You want to be spending your time outside, or if I'm spending all day in the office, the last thing I want to do when I get home is sit down and do more work. And then of course my mornings are mostly dedicated to video editing or just getting ready for the workday. So it kind of feels like throwing in Camp NaNoWriMo, my whole day is work, 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 work. To try to get ahead of things, to maybe possibly squeeze in a little bit more morning time, I pre-prepped my lunches for my work days this week. I made a giant Greek salad, which I still have to go and finish off and then pack my lunch for today. This morning, while working on a video edit and sitting down to talk with you, I've been enjoying a very large iced coffee, which is almost finished. My husband made a batch of cold brew concentrate, so I've been getting to enjoy that. In terms of the actual editing and how that's going and how I've been finding reading these last couple of chapters, I was feeling really good for the first 10 chapters. Or no, I think I was feeling really good for the first 11 chapters. Chapter 11, things have started to get a little bit shaky, I think. The advice I got of really considering my character's emotions throughout every scene has really been on my mind. And more recently, exploring my own writing that I've done so far, and also with the little bit of reading that I've done. I was reading Sophie Kinsel's Party Crasher, but I've put that on the shelf for now. I wasn't really vibing with the book, but that's a different topic. But what I got from that book is it was told from the first person point of view, and I thought that made the character's voice super clear. But right now, my book is switching between the point of views of my 2 main characters, and it's from the third person, kind of like from the perspective of like on their shoulder, and you get like the thoughts of the character's point of view that we're following, but it's the third person. So we're not in their head, but we're kind of in their head, but we're also just kind of watching as things happen. And I've just been thinking maybe it isn't working for the book. I'm not sure. I thought the way I wrote my first couple of chapters using that point of view, it felt really strong to me. But last night I was having a little bit of an internal panic with these chapters where I felt like suddenly I wasn't in the mindset of what the character was thinking. I was more kind of just describing what was happening and not really going along with the internal motivations of why a character was doing this action or how they were feeling. It was more describing how the character was behaving in the world rather than diving into their emotions. So now I'm like, would it make more sense to rewrite the whole thing in the first person point of view? It was something I thought about doing before I began writing this novel in NaNoWriMo. I did do a couple sample writing sessions, and in the end I thought that the third person point of view would be the best way to tell it, because I really liked the sample that I wrote and the way that I described things. But as I'm getting a little bit deeper into my novel, I'm realizing that I feel like my characters' voices or personalities, or I don't know, I just feel like they're not coming through strong enough, and I know that's something I could fix in the third person as well. I think in the end it's going to be something that I'm going to have to ask for others' opinions on, what they think of whether or not my characters' voices are coming through strong enough. So I think my plan is to continue doing this paper edit, because already I'm finding some kind of like sequence mistakes with my chapters, things where the chapters, I feel like they're out of order, like the sequence of events is not fully making sense, which is something I'm also going to have to address. And I think once I'm done the paper edit, if I'm still feeling like the voices of my characters are not coming through strong enough, then I will rewrite the first 2 chapters, like one from each character's perspective, in the first person, and maybe I will ask my beta readers if they have a preference towards one or the other, or maybe it'll all become clear to me by the time this is through. So that's my update for you. I'm going to continue doing my editing in the evening, just see how things go. I've recently made a new writing friend and partner, and we've been talking to each other over email, which has been wonderful. And she's been really reassuring of me, reminding me that, you know, this isn't the final version, and the whole reason why we go through this editing process is to correct things and make them the way we want them to be. So I don't need to be too hard on myself for thinking that my writing has been not great in this first draft. But that's what's been on my mind, so I thought I would give you the update this morning. And now I have to go pack my lunch, finish my coffee, and get off to work. Actually, one other thing I have to do is I do need to quickly update my journal, so I will also do that now. I need to fill in my progress bars, because even though I have been feeling like I haven't been making a lot of progress, it is still important to recognize the progress that I've done so far, so I'm going to do that by coloring in my journal. Good morning. Just checking in to let you know that I didn't do any editing last night, so I am a little bit behind schedule. I am planning to get back to it tonight. Last night I ended up getting home a little bit late from work and then realized that I had a counseling appointment that I forgot about. So that took up a good chunk of my evening, and then after that I just wasn't in the mood to edit. All I wanted to do for the last couple of hours I had in the day was just relax and play Zelda, so that's what I did. I'm definitely feeling better about things. I'm really coming to terms with the fact that if I don't finish Camp NaNoWriMo off by winning it, it's okay. I've still started off the editing process, and I will definitely be continuing with it through in August and onwards. I know that November's NaNoWriMo is looming in the distance, and I really do want to try and get like my next draft of my novel done before November, which I know I have a couple of months to do, but still. I'm just thinking now that if I were to do a full rewrite with the different points of view, it would be like rewriting an entire novel again, which is a very big thought, but I'm trying not to jump ahead. I'm reminding myself that the main point of this whole edit was to just get a good grasp on if my story and the events in the story and if my characters all make sense throughout it. And I know even if I plan to do a big giant rewrite, I will be able to use that information going forward. So I'm just trying to focus on one goal at a time and not getting too ahead of myself. But as per usual, time for me to get to work. Good morning. Today is July 27th. It is a Thursday. I may have messed up explaining things to you earlier. I think I may have said that the last day for my Camp NaNoWriMo was going to be July 28th, but that's not true because I am flying out tomorrow, very early tomorrow morning. We have to leave our place at like 3:30 a.m. We booked a earlier flight because it was cheaper, but I was not thinking about the logistics of getting to the airport when I booked it. So, hi, today is the last day of Camp NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo, for me at least, because I will not be taking my binder with me. I don't think I'll be meeting my goal, and I'm telling myself that that is totally okay. I am aiming for progress, not perfection, and I have made a really good amount of progress so far on editing my novel. As you can see, this is the part I've edited, and this is the part I haven't edited yet, and they're looking kind of equal. I set the goal of editing 25 chapters, and we are currently at chapter 15, or I've edited 15. So if I were to meet my original Camp NaNoWriMo goal this morning in the last half an hour that I have to do my editing, I would have to very quickly edit 10 chapters in 30 minutes. So I don't think that's happening. And in all honesty, these past couple of evenings and mornings where I said I would edit, I just haven't at all. I've been focusing on work or just unwinding for the evening and doing other preparations for my upcoming trip on Friday. It's all very exciting, but maybe July isn't the best month to do a writing challenge, at least not this July. But I'm definitely finding that this month has been way busier than expected, so what can I do about meeting my goal? So this will be my last little hurrah for this Camp NaNoWriMo in the 30 minutes I have. I'm going to enjoy my very lovely breakfast of avocado toast with a side of cucumbers and dip, and an iced coffee. As you know, I am very much a tea drinker, and when I drink coffee, it is because I need the energy. But also, it's nice just having the cold brew on hand that I've been able to enjoy and give myself that extra energy. Okay, so enough talking from me now. I'm going to get to the editing, and I will see how far I get with it. My 30 minutes are up here. I ended up getting about 2.5 chapters in with the editing, maybe a little bit more. There were like a couple of chapters, like I've described before, where they're kind of like these sporadic, broken up placeholders for chapters where I haven't fully written everything, but I have partially written them. So I guess that wraps things up for me this Camp NaNoWriMo. I have edited a total of 17 chapters. I'm a little bit sad I don't get to see that big splash screen of celebration, but that makes me feel even more motivated for the upcoming real full NaNoWriMo in November. It's still a couple of months away, but it is definitely on my mind. While I'm editing this book, the more and more I get into the paper edit, it really doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right the way it's written, and maybe I am completely overthinking it, but I keep going back to, if this was written in the first person, it would come across so much better. And I feel like it would solve a lot of the writing issues I've had for myself. A big one being that I refer to characters' family members in certain ways, like so-and-so's mother, so-and-so's sister, so-and-so's brother, brother-in-law. But if I were to tell it in the first person, then it could just be mom, sister, different things like that. And I think the emotions would come across better. I'm also hoping if I switch it to the first person, it would become easier to keep up the tense that I'm using in the story. This is really embarrassing for me. This is meant to be in the present tense, but I think with all the back and forth writing I've done and the random edits I've made during Camp NaNoWriMo, the last Camp NaNoWriMo, sometimes I just randomly switch to the past tense, and I think it's because I'm more talking to myself than being in the moment of the story, so I'm describing what should be happening or has happened. It's very odd. Tense is something that I struggle with to be consistent with. It's just something that's kind of happened to me throughout my entire time of writing. I don't know why it is. Sometimes I will slip in between different tenses, and it's very embarrassing when I have it pointed out to me because it's something I find that I just completely gloss over in my mind. So I'm actually quite surprised that I've picked up on it while doing this paper edit. I still think though that me sitting down with the paper copy of my novel has been extremely helpful. There are some details that I put in here that I didn't even remember happening, and as I'm reading through it, I've talked about how there are different plot points where I didn't know how to resolve certain things or how to convey certain plot points. An example here is that my male protagonist is having a moment talking to his best friend, and his best friend is being like, hey man, you have to ask her out. You have to ask her out because if you don't, nothing is going to happen and you are just going to stay in this friendship. And very much my male protagonist is telling his friend, like, she told me she only wants to be friends. I don't have a chance with her. And he's telling her, no, I promise you that you do. You should just give it a shot. And I couldn't figure out a way to go from having that conversation to these different plot points that happen to him asking her out. And I think what I want to happen now, after reading through the progression of it in the paper version and just taking it in as is, I really want to change that to make it into more of a comedic moment where maybe he does change his mind and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get the courage to finally ask her out and like tell her that I want to spend some time alone with her outside of this wedding craziness. But maybe he keeps getting interrupted and we have these awkward little exchanges with other characters. So that's got me excited for it again. But in summary, didn't win this Camp NaNoWriMo. That's okay. It's been a very busy month. I've heard that other friends who are participating in Camp NaNoWriMo, same thing for them. It's just the summer is a busy time and I feel like maybe the fall winter is a better time to sit indoors and write and edit. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop. And even though the idea of possibly having to rewrite my manuscript from a different point of view is scary, I feel like it may work for the better, but of course I will keep you updated on that in future writing vlogs. Going forward from this Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm going to be going on my vacation this upcoming week and I will be vlogging it, so if you're interested in seeing it, please stick around, subscribe. I'm going to San Francisco for the very first time with my husband and I'm so excited. And one of my friends is also going to be not traveling with us, but she will be kind of on the vacation with us, so we're going to have a fun time there. And yeah, that's the trip that I've been talking about this whole time leading up to it. And going forward from this Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm going to still finish this paper edit. I'm really going to give it hard thought whether or not I want to do a full rewrite, changing to the first person perspective. I did consider writing in the first person perspective going into my first draft, like still keeping up the point of views from my two protagonists, but telling it in the first person. But really going into NaNoWriMo way back in November, I don't think I had the confidence to tell the story in my characters' own voices, and I was really worried that if I told it from the first person, that when I switch back and forth between them, it would sound like it's just coming from me. But I think as I've gotten to really deep dive into getting to know them, and I'm sure I will only pick up on more as I go through this last portion of the paper edit, I think I'm just going to get more and more of an idea. But like I've said so many times before, I still need to go through and finish this paper edit because it still gives me a good idea of everything that's happening and what I may want to include in the rewrite. I think I will ask for the opinion from my friends or beta readers about what they think after I try giving it a try in the first person. I don't even know if it'll work out. I don't know if once I get started writing it, if I'll be like, gosh, this is terrible. But I have a feeling it won't be, but I don't know. And especially thank you if you've been sticking around to watch all of my writing vlogs or you've watched my other vlogs. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos and to, you know, spend this time with me. I hope you are not disappointed that I haven't won this Camp NaNoWriMo, but when I make these vlogs, I want to try and show you a more kind of realistic point of view of what this writing journey has been like for me. I'm still very new to this. As I've said many times, you know, I only started doing this back in November and it hasn't even been a full year of me working on my novel. And that's really wild for me to say. It really hasn't been a full year. It's just been a couple months, and I think I really just need to give myself the grace to say it's okay that I'm taking my time with it. It's okay if I'm gonna take even more time and have to do a complete full rewrite of it. This novel is just so special to me. I really want to present it in the way that I've kind of always imagined it would be. And I just have to keep reminding myself that even if it takes a long time, it'll be worth it in the end, and I've already come this far. If you participated in Camp NaNoWriMo, I would love to hear about how it went for you, how it ended up. It's okay if you didn't finish. I didn't finish, and I'm still pleased that I was able to use Camp NaNoWriMo as a tool to make progress on my editing. It's a really good motivator. So if you are not able to motivate yourself to write or to edit or to anything, I really suggest trying out one of the NaNoWriMo challenges. And it's a lot of fun if you add people as friends and you can see their progress along the way. And you're always welcome to add me as a friend or buddy on the Camp NaNoWriMo website. You can find me with my username, that's Time with Nicole, and I will end it there. I feel like I have rambled on quite a bit. Thank you so much for watching, really truly from the bottom of my heart. I know I already thanked you in this video, but it does mean a lot whenever you guys check out my video and leave me encouraging words. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like. It lets me know you've enjoyed watching it. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I make other writing vlogs, vlogs about my life. I am gonna be uploading some travel vlogs pretty soon. And yeah, just other fun stuff. I hope you are having a great day wherever you are, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!